Hi guys, good evening. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. It's actually a beautiful weather. It's very bright and sunny, but it's not too hot. So that's I feel like it's kind of unique for Malaysia because I'm so used to either, we have a cool weather with rain and you know, like really cool, or if it's hot, it's like unbearably hot. But today is very nice. It's bright and sunny, but it's not too hot. So it's a lovely weather here. And hope you're all enjoying yourself on this Saturday evening. Today, the topic that I have chosen is something called a grow model. A grow model is a very useful model that most of us can use to enhance our performance in life. We can use it to make decisions. We can use it to find a way forward when we are stuck in a certain circumstances, and also to always try to get the best outcome of any situation. We can use it for work, we can use it in our personal lives as well. So this is a very useful model. I initially came to know about it, I think about 20 years ago. I was sent for a training for coaching in the previous company that I used to work for, and I've always liked this model. Somehow or other, sometimes I use it consciously, but at other times I don't, I can't remember, and I don't use it consciously. Over time, and especially since I became a coach, I'm training myself to use this consciously more and more often. And I see that it is, every time I consciously use it, I get really good outcomes. So let me share that with you, and perhaps you all can try to use it too. Hi Darshana. So GROW model is actually an acronym for four phases of this process. So the G stands for, okay, before I even go into that, I just want to tell you all where it started. So it actually came about in the 1980s in UK. It was brought about by three business coaches. So initially it started off to be applied in the business field, and it is still, until now, it's very popularly applied for people who are doing business and people who are coaching for business. However, it's now also used for team leaders to coach their team, for leadership teams to coach their organization, and also it can be used for life coaching as well, as long as there is a responsibility from the coachee. So let me share with you how this works. So the GROW is an acronym for something. So let me start with the G. The G stands for goal. So whenever we start something, we have to have a goal that we want to achieve. This is similar to how Stephen Covey spoke about starting with the end in mind. So we also start with the goal that we want. And it's important to follow the goal setting principles. The SMART goal setting principle is a good way to set our goals. Make sure that it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Yeah, so those are good ways to set the goal, and also to ask ourselves, is that goal really meaningful to us? Because very often we are chasing dreams that are not real to us. They could be somebody else's dreams, and we have automatically adopted it as ours. So it's always good to find out whether that goal is meaningful to us, and achieving the goal is going to bring some sense of meaning to our life. So that's the first part, to set the goal. The second part is reality, R for reality, and that is to check where we are in our current reality. What exactly is going on? Where are we in relation to the goal that we want to achieve? And then assess it properly. Look at all the blocks, look at all the possible things that is happening right there, and have a very realistic assessment. It's important that we don't whitewash anything or look at things through rose-colored glasses. It's important that we know really what is happening. So that's the second part of it. This is slipping down a bit, okay. And the third part is O, And O stands for options, and O can also be a way for us to look at obstacles. So options are, what are all the possible ways where we can get from our current reality towards our goal? And there could be many different ways to reach our goal. So we have to look at it and pick out which is the best way to achieve it. And while we are looking at it, we will also be able to identify what are the obstacles. Whenever we are trying to achieve something, there will be, some road bumps, some twists, certain things that we have to get through. And I'm just going to call it obstacles. So what are the things that may stop our progress? So it's good to identify all those things and pick out what is the best option. And once we have this very clearly identified, then we go on to W, which is, it can either be will or the way forward. So what are the actions that we have to take when we are going towards the goal? And it also takes into account, this is the powerful part that I feel. It also takes into account the possible obstacles that can happen in our journey, and we will prepare a plan to how to tackle that particular obstacle. And if we do this well, we will eventually get to our goal. We can actually look at this like planning for a trip. If I want to go from point A to point B, I have to know my goal, I have to know where I am, and then I can look at all the possible options for me to get there and pick out the best option, and also look at any possible obstacles that can happen and plan my way while taking into account everything. And if I do that well, I will be able to achieve where is it that I want to go in my journey. So that is the real benefit of applying this GROW model. And we can even apply it into simple, like parents can apply it when we talk to our children. If there's a difficult situation to handle with our kids, we can actually see what is the end result that we want from that. Because a lot of times when we just get angry and we shout at them or we discipline them, it may not go according to what we want, and we may not achieve the final outcome that we want. So if we start with the end in mind, which is, hey Tanvir, nice to see you. Obstacles are definitely opportunities. Yes, I like that you said that. So the O can be options, can be obstacles, and can be opportunities. Because if we can identify the opportunities in the road ahead, we will be able to capitalize them and exploit them in our favor. Thanks for bringing that up, Tanvir. That's a really good point, which I missed to say just now. So with our kids as well, if let's say I want my daughter to study, and she's the current reality is she's not studying, and my daughter is actually here right now, so she's going to hear this, I can look at what are the possible ways to get her to study. And hi Uma, nice to see you. And I can evaluate all the different options and the different obstacles and the different opportunities that arises with those different options. And then I can pick the best one that I think is the suitable one for me to push it through. And while I'm doing that, I can also look at the possible opportunities and obstacles and plan for that and execute it. And in the end, if I do it correctly, she should be ending up studying. So those are some of the things that we can actually look at. Another example would be, let's say I want to have an evening out with a friend, but this friend is someone who always arrives late, and it always annoys me, and we end up arguing. So before I even end up going for before I even go for it, I'll be thinking to myself, so what is it that I want to achieve at the end of this evening? So what I want to achieve is a nice evening out with a friend, nice conversation and fellowship. And then I look at the reality is that the last 3 times she came late and I got annoyed with her, and it didn't really go very well. And she's a dear friend, and I don't want to mess up this relationship. So this time I can actually think about the possible things. One, I can call her earlier and I can remind her of it to tell her to be on time. Or maybe I can bring a book with me, so even if she's late, I would not get annoyed because I've got something to do. And the third could be I could tell her to come 10 minutes earlier, and I hope that she will be there on time. There's all sorts of different option and possibilities. Or maybe I can go to her house and pick her up. When we start thinking about solutions, a lot of creative ideas will actually start coming up, and then I'll pick one of it and I'll execute it. So in this case, I will avoid, because what I don't want is for me to get annoyed with her again. So when I have this goal that I am going to have a nice time, I will maximize everything that I need to do in order to have the nice time. So that is the real value in using the grow model. So you can actually try this, and again it goes back to how committed we are to the model. We are the drivers of our life, so it's up to us and the commitment and the energy that we bring, whether that model actually works or not. It has worked for lots of people, so if you choose to apply it in the right way, you'll probably see some results as well. So that is all that I have for today. If you guys have any comments, do let me know. Please do put it into the comment part, and I will speak to you all later about it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks guys. Bye.